Alrighty, friends, welcome back. Now, I know this is a different video than I usually do, but it's not in a way. You know, one of the most important things to history lovers is our love to go and see these places. And the United States, we're very lucky in the fact that we actually have a National Park Service that takes care of historical locations. But in another word, we're very unlucky too, because as the state of the world is right now, funds that were meant for the upkeep of the National Park Service are not being given to the National Park Service. Obviously, we have a lot of things going on in the world that they need the funds allocated there. And it really hit me when I was recently was on a trip, and I stopped in a few places. And you know what? I'm just gonna tell you what I decided to do was I decided to found a National Park Preservation Fund. So let me explain what this is. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to have this fund created, and I ask that everyone, if they're able to, you don't have to, I'm just creating it so people have the option. The goal right now is $1,500. Over time that will go up, but the whole point is want to be able to donate to the National Park Services to help give them funds. I know $1,500 isn't a lot, but it can go a long way to a place like Fort Sumter or Fort Moultrie that, you know, or even someplace like Antietam that needs the funds to function. So I decided to create this. I'll read the intro real quick. We wanted to start this fund following a trip to Maryland, South Carolina, where we discovered on both of these trips that the United States National Park Service has been struggling. Federal funding is lacking, and they're being forced to give up preservation efforts, or in the case of Fort Sumter and Fort Moultrie in Charleston, they have just combined the national parks into one. Or even with the majority of the Northern Virginia battlefields are being condensed into one department, straining the services. So I decided to start this fund, and with it donate to the national parks, military parks, battlefields, and aviaries around the country. In the spirit that Theodore Roosevelt had, we'll start with baby steps and have one time this fund grow. So we can help preservation around the country. Any amount is fine. Thank you for your support, and let's help these parks. Now, again, this is just a pet project of mine. I care very deeply for these national parks. You know, in the United States, that's something we do. We go visit national parks. You know, it's funny because European countries always laugh at America because they're like, oh, you just go to your own country for a holiday? And it's like, yeah, because we're so big and we have so much great things that have happened in this country. So I thought this would be a fun way using my platform. And I know I'm not a big channel. I'm 722 subscribers at this point. But if we can even help a little bit, that's all that counts. That's all that matters. It's just that little bit of help. And you know what? This fund will stay up. It will grow as time goes by. Because at the end of the day, it's about helping the national parks. Not about any, you know, I see some of these weird GoFundMe sometimes. And there's some noble ones. But let's all come together and do our best to help preserve the national parks. We'll be back to our regular content next week. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.